Hey guys, so this week we'll be talking about cancer. I'm going to have four short videos we're going to follow, and after each video, we'll jump over and I'll have you do like a little assignment like we did last week. Oh, there's Carrie barking at Zach. Okay, so this lecture is going to cover overview and scope of cancer. So just a basic identification of the disease and how many people are affected. So the way this talk will go, it's a little bit different than normal because I wanted to answer some kind of potential questions on how cancer develops. So this first section will be on the overview and scope of cancer as a disease. Our second set of slides will be on where does cancer come from? Is it environmental? Is it genetic? Is it behavioral, etc.? Then we'll have our medical and clinical considerations. What are the medical issues that arise when a person has cancer and is undergoing cancer treatment? It's focusing on those that are going to affect the person's ability to exercise. Carrie, shush. And then exercise testing and exercise prescription will be our last line of topics that we cover. And I'm sorry for the barking and the thumping. All right, so the words cancer, malignancy are terms that we are commonly used for a term that's called neoplasm. Sorry, let me just start that over. All right, so a neoplasm is a new growth of tissue. And the words cancer and malignancy are commonly used terms for something called a neoplasm that arises within a human or a dog or a cat or any kind of animal that can develop cancer. A neoplasm is an abnormal growth of tissue. Within that neoplasm, cells are going to proliferate or grow more rapidly than normal. And there's also a lack of structural organization and functional coordination within the normal tissue. So we'll take liver cancer as an example. Wow. I'll be right back. We just pulled a picture off the wall. One of the key issues that with cancer and why it causes such extreme health results or extreme lack of health in a person is because it takes over an organ or an organ system. So let's say a person has lung cancer. They have tumors that will grow within the lungs, and the lungs will not be able to function the way they should be able to function because those alveolar cells will not be able to diffuse oxygen and carbon dioxide and perform their basic functions. So we have a lack of organization and functional coordination within the normal tissue, preventing that normal tissue from acting the way it should in the body. Okay, there you go. So the term malignant neoplasm is a term for cancer. It's the neoplasm is fast growing and it's able to invade the host tissue. It's associated with large areas of necrosis or cell death and decay. And it can metastasize to other parts of the body. So this is what makes cancer so terrible, is that not only can it find its way into, develop within an organ system, it will then travel to other organ systems through the blood supply, for example. So it can metastasize into the lymph supply as well. So it can metastasize to other parts of the body. And cancer is fatal if untreated. So we'll sometimes have benign tumors, right? Benign neoplasms are solid tumors that usually develop that can be, can I bring it with you? A benign tumor is the tumor's growth, but it's slow growing. It can be removed. It's not going to spread to other tissues, other parts of the body. But cancer, for example, will take skin cancer. Okay, so skin cancer develops in the skin, right? But skin has blood flow. So if those cancer cells make their way into the blood supply, they will then circulate throughout the body and they can find their way into the lungs, find their way into the bones, etc. Benign is usually slower growing, well organized, and usually not fatal. Although if you have a benign tumor in your stomach, but it grows to the point where it's taking over your stomach, then of course can be fatal as well. But really, benign tumors can be removed and do not have that risk of coming back and metastasizing and taking over the way a malignant neoplasm or a true cancerous type of growth is going to have. Let me grab my pointer real quick here. Okay, so right here we have a normal, I'm going to use breast tissue as an example of how tumors grow. So we have normal breast tissue right here. This is a duct, a milk duct in the breast, and it's lined with epithelial cells because we know many things in the body are lined with epithelial cells. So we have epithelial cells that are lining that milk duct, and everything is great, organized, nice tight layer of cells, etc. Can you let Carrie in? Oh boy. Cancerous breast tissue, on the other hand, is going to look very different and not function. So this is called a ductal carcinoma. So this is a milk duct, right? This is ductal carcinoma. Can you guys tell that the lining of this is dramatically thickened because the epithelial cells are the ones that have become cancerous, and they have vastly overgrown. They've also invaded the surrounding tissue. So cancer is a unique disease for many reasons, and it's really against a group of diseases. Heart disease, is a group of diseases within the cardiovascular system. Cancer is a group of diseases that can affect the entire body in any organ system, anywhere. It can show up in so many different ways. So cancer can originate in any organ system. Any place you have living, growing tissue with multiplying cells, you can have cancer. It can also spread to other organ systems through the blood supply and through the lymph system. It has multiple etiologies or causes of factors that lead to it, and we will talk about those in the next section. So I'm going to kind of take a quick little beat here. I want you guys to take a look at this cancer, and I just want you to guess where it arose from. And these are just two different views. These are anterior views after a time lapse and posterior views after a time lapse. So this, it looks like you might think, hey, it's bone cancer, osteosarcoma, because we can see it in the bones. It has metastasized to the bones, but actually this began as prostate cancer. So, and prostate cancer is one of our more treatable cancers, actually, but it can still become fatal. It can still metastasize. So cancer getting into the bones and spreading throughout the bones is one common type of metastasis that can occur. So why are we talking about exercise? Because exercise is so demanding on the body. And when we think about a cancer patient, we might think that, hey, they're not going to have enough energy. They need their energy to take care of their cancer and to rest. And that is very true. But there's a few different reasons why we really want people to be exercising to prevent cancer. And we also want people to be exercising who have survived cancer, and even sometimes those who are going through chemotherapy. Number one, physical inactivity or not exercising is a risk factor for certain cancers, and that list does just keep growing as research kind of adds up. Exercise may enhance immunity and alter endocrine system function positively to prevent cancer. So exercise does, to a certain point, strengthen your immune system. And it may also improve hormone function, help to regulate hormone function with those growth hormones, estrogens, testosterone, etc. They help regulate those so we don't have an overgrowth of tissue because of those hormones. So this is beneficial to primary and secondary prevention. Primary being we prevent someone from getting cancer altogether. Secondary being we prevent it from coming back. So number one, preventative. Number two, keep it from coming back. Number three, cancer treatments and cancer itself are can be very harmful to the body. Cancer treatments are really tough on the body, although they're very necessary too. So I don't want to minimize that, but there are going to be some serious side effects from cancer treatment. Exercise is going to help to treat those, and in some cases, exercise is the only way to treat some of these side effects, such as fatigue. It's at least the most beneficial way. I'll put it that way. It's going to be the most beneficial way. The most lasting way to treat some of those side effects. And we'll talk about some of those side effects at a later time throughout this or subsequent presentations. So one example is fatigue. Exercise has been shown to really help with fatigue in cancer survivors. Both aerobic and resistance exercise to a greater extent than medication. And fatigue is one of those very long-lasting side effects of cancer treatment that can be really devastating for folks. Another example is that we lose muscle mass and aerobic fitness with cancer treatment, and exercise obviously is the number one way to bring those things back. And exercise during chemo and during other types of cancer treatment, for those who can tolerate it, can actually be really, really effective to help prevent a massive loss of those things as well. Sorry guys, switch the slide here. Advance. Okay. So how many people are affected by cancer? Well, cancer is a major cause of illness and death or morbidity and mortality throughout the world. 23% of deaths in the United States are caused by cancer. That's second only to heart disease. And it's projected to be the leading cause of death in 25 years because as a society, doing a pretty good job treating heart disease. We know what the causes are. We know how to prevent it. Our medical treatments are improving and improving at a dramatic rate. But with cancer, there's so many types of cancer, and there's so many different things that lead to it that there's just so much more to be done. But we do know that there are ways to help prevent and help to treat with exercise. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We have over 1 million new cases of cancer per year and about 500,000 deaths annually per year in the United States. And while that's very sad, we have a very large number of cancer survivors in the United States. So being able to work with those cancer patients is really, really a great thing for you guys. If you can develop that as a skill, it's something you're interested in doing, man, that's a great career path for you. Well, we have about 200 billion in annual costs to the healthcare system and to people, and about that also in sorry, in addition to that, we have 118 billion in lost productivity. So we had to think about the cost of treatment, but also the cost to the workforce, the cost to the people who have this disease and cannot work through this disease or have reduced time working. The 5-year survival rate for cancers has increased to 65%, so more people are surviving cancer versus not, which is just great. And we have more than 10 million cancer survivors in the United States today. And ACSM, you guys, has got a great certification for helping cancer survivors. And if that's something you're looking into, that's a great career path. There are numerous exercise science, exercise physiology programs, master's programs, and doctoral programs and postdoctoral study programs that deal specifically with working with cancer patients. So if that again is something you're interested in, man, this is it's a great part of the field to get into, and of course it's very important as well. It's really nice out. Hey guys, okay, sorry about that, guys. We jumped up for a sec. Back to where we were. Hang on one sec. So this is the last slide for this little brief introduction to cancer. So jump on over to Canvas, complete the assignment associated, and then keep on going into lecture number 2 of the week.